Welcome to Mxgp, the channel for all things motocross. From the latest news to exclusive content, we've got you covered. Whether you're a seasoned rider or a fan of the sport, we'll bring you the stories that matter most. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on our latest content.
With the 2023 FIM World Motocross Championship kicking off this weekend in Argentina, we felt it was time to provide an update on the current landscape of the Mxgp paddock. With a few key moves and injuries coming into the season, the door of opportunity is wide open in both Mxgp and MX2. Here are some of the teams, and respective riders, to watch coming into 2023. This list is pretty comprehensive but does not include every team nor rider competing, so some riders may not be here that will show well this year. But here's our list of key names to watch out for. Honda HRC 243 Tim Geiser injured. Tim Geiser would be coming into his fifth ever Mxgp title defense after wrapping up his fourth Mxgp crown last year. However, the Slovenian will not be on the gate to start the season. A few weeks back in an Italian championship race at Arco di Trento, Geiser went down hard while battling Jeremy Seewer for the lead and broke his femur. No timetable has been established on when Geiser might return, but he's at least out for the foreseeable future, meaning his title defense is over before it starts. 70 Ruben Fernandez. Ruben Fernandez spent last year racing for the now defunct 114 Motorsports team but still ended up 8th in Mxgp with 3 moto podiums along the way. He had already filled in at Honda HRC in 2021 in the second half of the season, so he's essentially coming home this year, but in doing so, he also takes over the seat that Mitch Evans had occupied for the last 3 years. Red Bull KTM, Jeffrey Hurling's number 84. The Bullet is back. The two-time Mxgp champion spent all of 2022 on the sidelines after fracturing his foot in a preseason photo shoot right before his title defense began last year. He teased a potential comeback mid-season and even considered racing AMA Pro Motocross, but instead elected to get some more nagging injuries cleaned up and went back under the knife. He did a few preseason races this year but so far has not won any of them, saying that he's just trying to get back into the swing of things. He will of course be going for his third Mxgp title this year, but he may start slower than he has in his prior championship years. Monsterenergy Yamaha team. Jeremy Seewer number 91. The new Yamaha YZ450F has already seen success in the USA with Eli Tomac taking 5 early wins on it in Monsterenergy AMA Supercross, but now it's time to see how it works in Mxgp. Jeremy Seewer is coming off another runner-up finish in the World Championship and he's determined to end that bridesmaid run this year. Speaking with him in January, he seemed very excited about the new bike, and the non-production rule in Mxgp gives riders more opportunity to find comfort. Could this be the year Seewer finally gets that title? Number 259 Glenn Coldenhoff. Glenn Coldenhoff finished up P5 in 2022, just 3 points behind teammate Maxime Renaux. He won 2 motos and the Grand Prix of Finland along the way. Coldenhoff has been around for a while now in the Mxgp class, and he's had years where he's near championship winning speed and years where he's not. He might be the most intriguing rider to watch where he stacks up heading into 2023. Maxime Renaux number 959. Had a very solid rookie year in Mxgp where he won 5 motos and the Grand Prix of Spain. He could have stayed down and defended his MX2 title last year, but he bet on himself and moved up to Mxgp a year before he hit the age limit in MX2. He delivered on the big bike. He also won the final moto at the 2022 Motocross of Nations to win the Mxgp class and help France finish second overall. After finishing 4th in his rookie year, he has to be a borderline title contender at least heading into 2023. Red Bull Gas Factory Racing. 61 Jorge Prado Garcia. Had somewhat of an off year last season on the new iteration of the Gas MC450F. Even so, he still won 3 motos, the Grand Prix of Portugal, and finished 3rd in Mxgp despite missing the Grand Prix of Italy with an injury. Prado has the talent to win the Mxgp title, and if he can figure out the bike underneath of him more quickly this year, he will be a factor. Plus, his starts are just off the charts. 101 Mattia Guadagnini. Guadagnini jumped up to Mxgp somewhat randomly in the middle of 2022 after racing the first 7 MX2 races. He moved up at Sardegna and hovered around the top 10 for a little while before he started struggling mightily down the stretch of the season. He redeemed himself right at the end with a 4-5 result at the final round in Turkey. Now full-time Mxgp in 2023, what version we get from Guadagnini will be very interesting. He could be a top 5 guy, or he could be outside of the top 10. Kawasaki Racing Team. Number 3 Romain Febvre. Febvre broke his femur at the 2021 Paris Supercross just a month after missing out on the 2021 Mxgp title by a few points. He missed the first 10 Grand Prix in 2022 and came back at Germany to finish 4-7. He had podium speed right away but still had his struggles before ultimately winning the final moto of 2022. If 2021 Febvre is back, look out. He's looking for his second Mxgp crown now 8 years after his first back in 2015. 43 Mitch Evans. Joining Febvre this season at Kawasaki to replace the departed Ben Watson is former Honda HRC rider Mitch Evans. Evans has dealt with injury after injury after injury in the past few years, and that has made judging his actual potential in the class a bit harder. He only had 2 motos inside of the top 5 in his final year with Honda HRC last year, but he finished the year strong with a 5th place finish in the first moto at the Motocross of Nations, just behind Sewer but ahead of Prado. That shows he has the talent to be in that group, and perhaps a switch to Kawasaki can unlock it for the Australian. There's also the number 41 Pauls John Ass, of Standing Construct Honda. For the first time in his professional career, Pauls John Ass is not on an Austrian motorcycle as Standing Construct has switched to Hondas in 2023. John Ass missed 3 Grand Prix last year with a mix of injuries which also probably kept him from his best form. 189 Brian Bogers. Bogers was very strong in 2022 as he finished up 6th in Mxgp standings and won the Grand Prix of Belgium with 1-3 scores. Number 10 Calvin Vlaanderen, from Jebben van Venrooy Yamaha. Vlaanderen had 2 standout performances in 2022 where he won the Grand Prix of Sardegna going 1-1 and finished 2nd at the Grand Prix of Belgium going 2-2. MRT Racing Beta, 77 Alessandro Lupino. Lupino unfortunately missed a lot of racing last year as he had appendicitis surgery in Portugal last year, and is back with Beta again for 2023, but this time it's a completely different team as SDM Course is no longer running the program. 919 Ben Watson. Watson had a year to forget in his lone year at Kawasaki in 2022 where nothing seemed to go right, and his best result was a 4th in Moto2 in Italy.